Kia ora everybody, Paul from NZ Truth Media here. So just before I start the story, I want to show you this video that's been circulating around social media. Now this is in New Zealand, so this video is of a mobile vaccination rollout. So they're clearly in an unmarked van, which raises suspicion for me. Now you can hear the guy talking to the person at the door, and it sounds like a sales pitch. I mean, they should be at a hospital in case something goes wrong. So much is wrong about this video, guys. But I'll play it out and let you guys decide. Might get a little bit of a headache and a little bit of a little bit of so that's pretty common as well. Most people just like to second shot, people kind of say, oh, the same as last one, but just a little bit faster, a little bit longer, and you're fine. One shot gives you 70% immunisation against COVID. 2 shots gives you 90%. The good thing about it. So what these guys are doing, right, is they have a clipboard with addresses on it of people who aren't vaccinated, and they're door knocking saying, why aren't you vaccinated? We can vaccinate you right now. That's harassment, guys. I said yesterday, if this virus is so deadly, yeah, so devastatingly deadly, people will be knocking on your door demanding to take the shot. They're not. So today we're going to take a closer look at vaccines for children. But first what I want to do is show you a story that broke out yesterday. So it says here, 15 residents and 4 staff have tested positive since Friday. A fully vaccinated staff member was discovered. I mean, this is confusing, guys. We've got 15 residents. We don't know whether they were vaccinated or not. They say we've got 4 staff here tested positive. A fully vaccinated staff member was discovered. All your staff have to be vaccinated. So we've got at least 4 staff members on one day tested positive. All of our staff and majority of our residents are fully vaccinated. So obviously we've got 4 staff that were fully vaccinated have caught the virus, guys. So I just also want to report an article that says a man who died in isolation was a man in his 40s, and they say death not linked to vaccine. Well, how do they know? They've already told you here it's not linked, right? So why are they saying it's not linked to the vaccine? Why are they telling you that? If he died of COVID, he died of COVID, didn't he? The issue is that the man died at home suddenly. If they're telling you it's not linked to the vaccine, then it must be linked to the vaccine. If he had complications with his breathing, which is what most people do if they have COVID, right? They call the hospital and they go into a hospital when they start feeling sick. That wasn't the case. This guy died suddenly. Anyway, just saying, guys. Okay, now let's turn our attention for the rollout of vaccines for children aged 5 to 11. We'll just take a look at these 2 clips I found online.
Pfizer now shipping out its COVID vaccine for children after the FDA approved the shot for kids 5 to 11 years old. For some, a true Halloween treat.
Do you want to get a COVID shot? Why?
So I don't get sick.
28 million kids are expected to become eligible this week for the Pfizer COVID vaccine. It now awaits final approval from the CDC. Texas Children's Hospital getting ahead of the big rollout.
We started opening up appointments yesterday afternoon, and in less than 24 hours, we have over 23,000 appointments.
And the shots are being shipped out literally today.
They're being shipped today. We expect to have them on hand Monday.
Well, some parents are eager to get their kids the shot.
If we can get, as many of the kids vaccinated as adults, we can get a lot closer to get back to a normal way of life.
Many others are hesitant. A Kaiser Family Foundation survey found that more than 2/3 of parents are either going to wait or will never get their 5 to 11-year-olds vaccinated.
I don't know about my baby now.
So you're vaccinated, but you don't know about whether your girls are.
I only had to do it for my job. That's the only reason why I did it.
These shots slightly different than those for adults.
It is the same Pfizer vaccine, but it's 1/3 the dose. It's packaged differently and has a different size needle, obviously, for smaller children.
Good morning, Joe. So the CDC director signing off last night after the advisory committee met for 6 hours and voted unanimously in favor of making this vaccine available to kids. The CDC saying in a statement last night that COVID vaccines have been among the most intensively studied vaccines in history and will continue to be so, also for the kids vaccine. They note that the vaccine for children will help protect them, but also reduce disruptions to in-person learning and help curb transmission more broadly. And guys, this was just just a really effusively unanimous vote.
All right, so an easy, unanimous decision that took them 6 hours?
And guys, now 28 million kids become eligible. Some of them started getting the first vaccines last night, like this little guy in Hartford. Just amazing footage seeing how this is rolling out. Now this morning we're hearing about children's hospitals getting up and running. I think this guy does a little dance. That's awesome. And a lot of parents looking for these appointments now, finding them on pharmacy websites. They're finding them through their pediatricians. Some schools are setting up clinics. Vaccines.gov is the big government hub for finding these. That is not yet up for kids, but we're expecting the broad rollout to be available next week.
So before we talk about that, I want to talk about the amount of dislikes these videos are getting and the negative comments. We've got this one from Australia, 266 dislikes. Obviously the comments are turned off. You know, if this was the best thing we've ever had and this is saving billions of lives, these vaccines, wouldn't they be getting mostly positive comments? And only negative comments from the so-called anti-vaxxers? Why are we seeing more dislikes than likes? So we've got this report from ABC News Australia, 180 dislikes, turn the comments off. Okay, so I'm on the New Zealand MedSafe website, and this is where people report adverse side effects from the vaccine. So what I want to do is show you this. Now this is up until the 4th of September 2021. So they're 2 months behind. But I just want to make a point here. Summary of reported deaths. Okay. We've had 8 aged 30 to 59, 23 aged 60 to 79, and 23 80 plus. 26 of these deaths are unlikely related to the COVID vaccine. Unlikely. So, I mean, what does that mean? Doesn't mean anything. 9 deaths could not be assessed due to insufficient information. 18 cases are still under investigation, and 1 death was likely due to the vaccine. So if we come over here, the death of a 40-year-old man who was isolating at home with COVID-19 was not linked to the vaccine. So how do they know that? If these reports are 2 months behind, how can they determine and establish that this guy wasn't? This was yesterday. They found him yesterday at home. So they can report on this guy. So they're pretty quick to assess this guy. But what about the 18 people here that are still under investigation? I mean, none of it makes any sense. But my final thought that I want to leave you guys with is that when children aged between 5 and 11 years old in New Zealand become eligible, I can guarantee you it will be mandatory. Why? Because the children won't be allowed to go to school without the vaccine. So this is the bullying that's going on in New Zealand. They say no, it's not going to be mandatory for everybody to take the vaccine, but yes, it is. Why? Because you won't be a part of society if you don't. Okay. Also, Jacinda has just purchased another 4.7 million doses, ready for everybody that is eligible for the booster shot, which is going to be early next year. Okay, on a lighter note, I want to end the report with a video I found online. Hope you enjoy. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next video. Cheers.
Oh, looking forward to me bloody vaccine rollout, so let's get the ingredients ready. First we need a cup of propaganda, that goes in there, and a sprinkle of fear-mongering from the media, chuck a little bit in from the premiers, actually chuck a fair bit in from the premiers, a pinch of government corruption with payouts from the FDA and Big Pharma, pour in some daily press conferences with pre-planned questions. Now we just need to sift in the slogan, we're doing this for the health of the community. Alright, get that in there. Now at this point you need to stir in some fake death certificates and stats. And you'll need to keep that circulating. Now don't forget to threaten employers with fines. So that goes in now. Or at this stage you'll need a few lockdowns, so put them in, but not all at once. You're going to need to spread these out for later. I was going to add in some influenza here, but I can't seem to find any anywhere. Like, nowhere. Chuck in half a cup of school closures. Now mix this together well and get some celebrities on board. And we just finish it off with some utter garbage from the PM that'll contradict the rogue premiers. And there you have it. Bake that for as long as it takes to fool the masses into believing this utter garbage.